Samsung may have unleashed 4 whole new phones earlier this week at its Unpacked event in San Francisco, but it is the Galaxy Z Flip that has people flipping out. And based on our brief hands-on time with it at Samsung's event, we already were very impressed. But I got some extended time with a sample unit here in New York, and here's what I think about this device after just a few hours with it out in the wild. So first of all, I have to admit that when the Galaxy Fold first was previewed and teased, I didn't think it was such a big deal. I think the technology was impressive, but I really couldn't see the point in having such a device. However, the Galaxy Z Flip has me changing my mind. This thing is the size of a regular smartphone, but because it has a folding screen, you can basically turn it into half the normal size. So this is much more pocket friendly. It's basically the size of a tiny wallet, and this flexible glass display using what Samsung calls ultra thin glass makes the whole thing just feel so much more durable than the Motorola Razr and the Galaxy Fold and other folding devices we've seen in the past. I spent a lot of time with the Galaxy Z Flip comparing it side by side to the Motorola Razr, and the biggest difference between these two really is that screen. This is a dynamic AMOLED screen with a 21.9:9 aspect ratio. It's got 1080p-ish resolution, and because it is a folding screen after all, there is still the hint of a crease there, but you really have to look for it. It's not really visible if you're looking at the phone face on, but if you're kind of glancing at it off at an angle, you'll spot it. It's not such a big deal though, it's just really something that we've gotten used to, at least I have after covering folding phones for a while. The other thing I just wanted to do over and over again with the Galaxy Z Flip was just to kind of fold it shut on someone while I was midway through a conversation and hang up on them. I was able to do this with my coworker Chris Velasco. However, because this hinge is so sturdy at every angle, you can't really get kind of a full snap shut at the end. You're not getting something that, feels very vindictive when you shut it closed. It's not a loud, snappy shut close that you're gonna get, but it still feels somewhat satisfying. Now, this is supposed to be a 24-hour loan unit, but in that short amount of time, I've already come to learn how to really maneuver this device with one hand very easily. I can already open it and shut it with just one hand. It's really a testament to how well I think Samsung's managed to design this thing. The glass feels sturdy enough that I don't feel bad about using it as kind of a flex point to shut the device altogether. Just pushing my thumb into that screen doesn't feel like it would break the device, and that's really saying something. Speaking of that hinge, this is a much improved version over the Motorola Razr. Samsung has managed to engineer its hinge so that it's able to stop at basically whichever angle you want to leave it at. Samsung's calling it the free stop system. And what's extra clever about the Galaxy Z Flip is that there is a flex mode software that comes on basically whenever you have the phone propped up to slightly smaller than say 100 degrees, and it will split the screen into two so that the interface basically makes use of the two halves of the display more intuitively. So far, this only works with the camera, the gallery app, and Duo, but Samsung is releasing the SDK and working with Google to make sure Android's able to support this on a wider scale in future. One final note about the hinge, there is a so-called fiber guard built into it to keep debris and detritus out of it. Obviously, it's not something that I can see, and it's not something that I really want to test with a sample unit I have to give back at the end of the day, but I will say that I was able to just tuck this into my pocket and put it in my purse, which is usually littered with breadcrumbs for some reason, by the way, and I didn't feel like this device was going to break just from a stray loose breadcrumb caught in its hinge or caught in the mechanism. So this really feels like the most durable folding smartphone I have used so far. One of the things I did not like about the Galaxy Fold was that when you shut it, that front display, which is a 4-point-something-inch screen, just really isn't useful at all for using as a primary smartphone. And the Galaxy Z Flip sort of suffers from a similar problem. When you close the device, you'll use the 1.1-inch touch-sensitive window next to the cameras to see things like your battery life indicator, or say when you have a message pop up, it'll scroll through, but that's pretty much it. You can also use this tiny sliver of a screen as a viewfinder for when you're taking a selfie with the camera next to it. It's not something you want to rely on for framing up your engagement photo, for example, but in a pinch, if you're trying to get a selfie really quickly, it's a good guide as to where you are in the frame. Speaking of the cameras, I found the pair of 12 megapixel shooters here just serviceable. I mean, this isn't the same setup as we have on the S20 or even the S10, but it's good enough because there's a regular sensor and then there's a wide angle option that gives you up to 120 degrees field of view, so you can zoom out and get more of the New York City landscape if you want to, like I did. That's nice to have that added flexibility, but if you're someone who's used to the advanced setup on, say, a Huawei P30 Pro or even an iPhone XS, you might not find this good enough. Open up the Galaxy Z Flip and you'll be using the 10 megapixel selfie camera up front. This really isn't my favorite setup for selfies. I didn't find it as nice as my Pixel's selfie camera, for example, but what I did like about it is that combined with this freestop hinge on the Galaxy Z Flip, you can use it to make video calls very easily. Because the Z Flip can basically be propped up on its own and serve as its own tripod, sort of, you can have hands-free video calls and not have to scramble and look for something to lean your phone up against. This would have been very handy for me when I was calling my family over Chinese New Year and I had to have 2 oranges in both of my hands and needed to have a call with them. I wish I had the Galaxy Z Flip then. And honestly, if you're someone who does a lot of video calls with people or wants to run an Instagram TV show, this might be a very good option for you. After some time with the Galaxy Z Flip out in the wild, I feel like some of that novelty of being able to open and close it has sort of worn off. And more importantly, I wanted to know, how does it fare as a regular phone? My most demanding tasks in this limited time of testing were playing a game of NBA Live or slacking people while telegramming them while installing apps. This thing has a Snapdragon 855 processor in there, and it held up. Honestly, this thing has been running pretty smoothly over these few hours. Obviously, we'd have to do more in-depth testing though to know how this fares against other devices. The other thing we wanted to get a sense of was battery life, and right now it's about 3 hours after I fully charged up the device, and we've only got 70% of juice left, so the 3300 milliamp hour battery here doesn't seem to last super long. Again, this is something we'd have to really run a more in-depth test on to know for sure, but I will say it did take a while to get this device up from 60-ish% to 100%, so fast charge here may be a little bit slow too. You can get the Galaxy Z Flip, that is if you can find one, for $1,380, and that's $120-ish cheaper than Motorola's Razr, which launched last week. My coworker Chris Velasco's review of that just went live. You can check his in-depth impressions there, but suffice to say, the Galaxy Z Flip just is far and away the superior phone right now. It has better guts. It's got a Snapdragon 855 instead of a Snapdragon 730 that Motorola is using. It's got a better camera setup, and really the only thing that the Motorola Razr has going for it over the Galaxy Z Flip is that its external display is a much larger and therefore much more useful 2.7 inches. The other major difference between the Razr and the Galaxy Z Flip is that screen. When you are closing and opening the Motorola Razr, you'll notice that that plastic OLED display that Motorola uses sort of pops in and out of the mechanism, and it feels almost like a roll of Scotch tape that someone tried to paste back into the roll but didn't do so perfectly, and so there's a little bit of creasing and there's a little bit of popping in and out. That doesn't feel great for something you paid $1,500 for. It also makes a really concerning creaking noise as you fold it open and shut. Those just don't instill a lot of confidence in the overall durability of the Motorola Razr. Compare that to Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip, which opens and closes almost noiselessly. It's just a really different and a much more premium and finished experience. For more in-depth impressions of the Galaxy Z Flip after more than a few hours with the device, We are working on a full review, so make sure you subscribe to Engadget for that and for all of the news on folding phones or other flagship smartphones out of the world of consumer tech.